Hi, and welcome along to DR Sports. We are here to take a look at the weekend, of course. Massive weekend in football, even though the football season's finished. It was the Champions League final. And of course, it was the biggest game in football, they call it, which is not the Champions League final. Well, what I'm saying, not the biggest game in football, the richest game in football. Richest game in football, which is not the Champions League final. It is the playoffs to see who gets into the Premier League, and that was won by Nottingham Forest, and we're going to touch on that as well. But first of all, joining me, I've got Alex, AGT, on the line. I'm going to say commiserations, even though when Arsenal didn't get into the top four, you called us bottle jobs and stuff like that. I was going to get at you, but...
Don't make me get the text up, Rob. Don't make me get the text up. I said I feel for you. But listen, thank you, Rob.
How are you feeling today?
Do you know what? I feel good. I feel positive going into the new season. If I'm honest with you, Rob, I'm quite happy to see the back of this season now. I mean, the stakes that were on the line for us just meant that every game watching it was just heart attack city. But just proud, man. Just so proud of the team, the manager, all those players, the city of Liverpool yesterday, you know, how we conducted ourselves as a fan base during that final amongst all the madness that happened. But my overall feeling is just one of pride, man, because...
Big parade yesterday, wasn't it? And I know you was there.
Yeah, we were there. We did the vlog. Go and watch that now on the COP TV. Myself and Doyle were there, and it was a beautiful moment, Rob. And listen, I'd be lying if I told you I woke up yesterday full of happiness and joy, because I didn't. You know, it's not how you wake up after you've lost the Champions League final. But as soon as we went down to the parade and you see all the people, all the happy faces, all the kids that are probably seeing this for the first time, it was just a beautiful day yesterday. The weather was great, and everyone had a smile on their faces. And do you know what? I think it was down to Klopp to keep the parade on. There was probably a few questions asked after the final, should we still do this? And he was adamant. He's like, no, we still do. We still had an incredible season. And listen, we've lost 4 games out of 65 games across the whole season. One of them was the Champions League final, and it wasn't meant to be for us. It was a tight game. I think we had 24 shots. They had 2, and they win it. So listen, as Raul said in the preview, Real Madrid no juega la final, la gana. They win the final. So listen, they did
play finals, they win finals.
Exactly, and congratulations to Real Madrid. But just a massive feeling of pride.
Yeah,
Rob,
going back to the final. Was you know watching the final? Liverpool did have a lot of shots.
Yeah,
Courtois, I think, pulled off 2 unbelievable, brilliant saves. But apart from that, a lot of the shots that Liverpool had from range, shots that you'd expect Courtois to save, were you a bit disappointed in Liverpool's performance on the day? Because, you know, Real Madrid done a brilliant job of just nullifying them and just constantly catching them, especially in the second half, on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they did their job. And that's why Ancelotti's won 5 Champions Leagues. And that's why he's won 5 leagues in 5 different countries. His style translates no matter what country you're in. I have to say, the job Benzema did he didn't score a goal, but watching him pass the ball off, he comes deep, lays it off, and then the attack starts. He is an unbelievable footballer, Rob. Gets better with age. He really does. And listen, yes, they employed the dark arts. They were wasting time, staying around, pretending injuries. But that's what you have to expect when you play these teams in a final, especially Spanish teams. And they're the kings at doing it. You know, they've rattled them, Atletico. We all complain about the same things when English teams play them. But listen,
I don't think they were exactly Atletico though, because
they're nowhere near.
They did have the ball in. They had the ball in the back of the net in the first half, and very fortunate. I mean, under the old rules, that would have counted, but very fortunate Liverpool. They got away with that one. And then in the second half, and they of course scored, and they could have scored again near the end. And also, I thought that defensively they were brilliant. I thought we were watching the game in the studio, and the guys in the studio were writing off before the start of the game Carvajal, for instance. They're saying, how's he going to be able to deal with Diaz? He marked him out of the game. He was good. Militao. You know, just right throughout their team, everybody had big performances for them. Whereas with Liverpool, some of the guys that we've seen really taking it to teams all season were a bit quiet. And do you think that's the amount of games? Do you think the amount of games caught up with them?
It has to be. We've never played, no team has ever played this amount of games in a season before. Naturally, when you're at this stage, the last game, and let's not forget, our season started start of August. It's now the end of May. That's almost a year of just relentless, non-stop winning machines, because that's what we've been doing all season. And then, yeah, listen, the players in the big moment, Salah didn't score. I mean, he scores 9 out of 10 for that one save that Courtois does. In the Prem, that goes in 9 out of 10 times. Courtois saves it. Do you know what? I thought Konate was absolutely imperious at the back. He was unbelievable, Konate. Man of the match for me for Liverpool. And yeah, listen, we would have wanted a Jota to turn up, a Mane to turn up, a Salah to turn up. And they all gave it a great go. But in the end, it wasn't enough. And I can sleep easy knowing that they gave it everything. There's nothing that those players could have done anything more. So again, you know, it's just people are going to think I'm hugely gutted, which I am. But let's look at the bigger picture. What a season it's been, Rob. Now,
one of the things that really soured the whole occasion for Liverpool fans was what went on outside the game. We as I said, we were watching the game on the watch along. We at that time we couldn't understand why is the game being delayed so long until we started to get the news through that there was lots and lots of Liverpool fans outside who couldn't get into the stadium. Now, the French authorities, and again the Minister of Sport, I think, has come out again today, said that the problem was caused by loads and loads of Liverpool fans turning up without, with fake tickets. And that's what caused the problem. They had to turn away those fans. And then that meant that, the disturbances were caused, and then the police had to get involved. Now, obviously, you would have seen all the stuff around it. You would have spoken to fans that were there at the stadium as well. What did you make of it as a Liverpool fan? I mean, because especially with the whole Hillsborough thing, which that always looms as the tragedy that happened to Liverpool fans. The worst set of fans this could be happening to is Liverpool. And thankfully, we never saw nothing like that again. But imagine a fan, and I saw quite a few of them on TV, you've gone to watch the game and you didn't get in, or you go, as I saw a lot of fans who didn't get in until, midway through the second half. I mean,
no, listen, Robbie, it's an absolute disgrace that UEFA, have been allowed to host a game like this in the city of Paris, but two, the fact that they've just passed the buck on. And if you listen to the likes of Andy Robertson, he is saying his tickets have come from the club. He's given them to his friends. Even they couldn't get in. So this fake tickets, this lateness is absolute rubbish. The lads, ladies, the kids, everyone was there 2.5, 3 hours before kickoff.
Sorry, so how long have you been waiting here?
2 hours.
Inside the stadium, they're blaming fans for getting here late. But
that's a lie. That's a lie. I was at the station at 6:30, and it's taken me to get here 2.5 months, 3 hours to get here from the station.
So it's just purely nonsensical. And a lot of the Liverpool fans I've spoken to, and there's video, again, they think they can pass the blame on, but the videos show it's not true. What was his name on Sky Sports News? Is it Canova, the reporter? Everyone needs to go and watch that report, because that's what actually happened. And the guys that I've spoken to have said that a lot of locals, Parisian locals, were mugging people for tickets. I've even heard of a blind guy who I was with at Box Park Wembley 2 weeks ago. Bless him. Bless his heart, Rob. He had his ticket in his hand and he was asking a steward or an official to help him get in. He's blind. And they were just beating him up, taking his ticket off him, jumping the fences. Don't listen to the lazy narrative of what UEFA comes out and saying. The people that believe them instantly, imagine if that was your fan base. Would you be so quick to believe the authorities then if they've said that we're the one causing the trouble? Like you said, the Hazel disaster, which is actually 30 years ago today, or 27 years ago today, Hillsborough as well. It's so easy for these big football authorities to pass the blame on because of our history. But let's look at each situation as it stands alone. What happened on Saturday night? You've seen the videos, Rob. You've seen them. There's ticket holders showing their real tickets, getting tear gassed in their face. I've heard stories of Disabled Liverpool fans, blind Liverpool fans, getting tear gas, children crying their eyes out with real tickets that never even got into the game, Rob. It's an absolute disgrace. The city of Paris, Parisian Londoner sent me a really long voice note as well saying, don't blame UEFA. It's the Parisian officials, the police. They don't know how to control a game or even organize a game.
I mean, we do know that they got this, the final was supposed to be played in Russia.
Yeah.
Remember, it was, and obviously for obvious reasons, it was moved to Paris. So, but they've hosted big tournaments and big games before. I don't know how it's such a mess. And their sports minister, if I can just quote you what he said, he was on the radio, he was on radio RTL, and he said, what happened, first of all, was this mass gathering of British supporters of Liverpool club without tickets or with fake tickets. And then he goes on to say, and then a certain number of youths from the nearby area who were present tried to get in by mixing in with the crowd. So he's trying to sort of say that that's the reason why the police then had to get involved with tear gas and that. But some of the stuff that I saw, it was little kids getting tear gas. There was journalists getting tear gas and pepper sprayed. It looked chaos there. And as I said, you know, I've been to a Champions League final in Paris. And I mean, it was a while back, but the organization was nothing like that. And if I had have gone to that game and I've got a ticket and I can't get in.
I know someone that paid $3.5 grand, Robbie, had a real ticket, got tear gassed in their face and had to go back to the hotel. It's $3.5 grand. And this is the thing. UEFA and the authorities, they're so quick to come out with an official statement, passing the buck on. Let's not take any responsibility. Let's blame it on the hooligans, the Liverpool fans. You know,
I have to say, I didn't see in none of the footage I saw, did I detect any hooliganism in, you know, did I detect, it just didn't look that way. I just don't know how they're going to be able to, I mean, they're going to spin that narrative, but I don't know how they can get away with it. The other thing that really struck me about it, Alex, right, is that I've been to a lot of these big tournaments. So I was at the World Cup, for instance, in Russia. And I've been to many, you know, I've been to many massive games, as so have you. And what they normally do for these big games like that is they'll have an outer cordon. So when you get to that, they ask you there, can we see your ticket? And then once you've shown your ticket there, then you go through to the next cordon now, when you get there now, where you get your search and everything, and then you present your, you know, you put your ticket in the thing and then you go through. Why was it that people got right up to the last moment without tickets? That just shows me that it hasn't been organized right. That's straight away. I don't care what it's. Yeah, there could be people there with fake tickets. We know that at these games, at every single final, there's people trying to get in to games who don't have the right ticket, who are trying to wing it. But that's why they have that outer cordon. So I don't understand how they got all the way up. How did they do that? You know, even when I went to the Euros, same thing. Outer cordon first. Have you got a ticket? Can we see it? Right, you're legit. Little search, go through, get to the next cordon, search, put your ticket in and go through. I don't get this.
Yeah, that's the normal procedure. You even get that at Stamford Bridge. You can't even get near Stamford Bridge without proving that you've got a match ticket. The organisation was a shambles, and that's putting it lightly. I saw a Real Madrid fan who I know, he tweeted, and it's kind of gone viral, and it had to be translated, but he said something along the lines of, we were drinking the whole day in the city centre. There wasn't not one single incident between Real Madrid and Liverpool fans. They were happily drinking together. Not one incident. And then as soon as you get to the ground, the Liverpool fans are kettled into this tiny underbridge.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. The organisation, it just wasn't there. And if you're quick to jump on the bandwagon of blaming Liverpool fans, then you're a part of the problem, if I'm honest, because you weren't there. And if you actually hear and listen to and watch the eyewitnesses, the people that were there, don't believe UEFA. If you're a football fan, you have to side with the football fans here. I'm
definitely siding with the football fans here with the Liverpool, because seriously, in the footage that I saw, I never saw no masses of. Listen, we all know what it looks like. We've all been there. I didn't see that in that footage. What I saw was something that was terribly organised. And I hope that, there is some sort of inquiry that gets to the bottom of this. But at the moment, it does look like the French authorities are still trying to stick to this line. And it's far too simple to just say, oh, some people turned up with fake tickets. Every single final, people turn up with fake tickets. You have systems in place to deal with that, and they just didn't have that in place. I'm going to move on. Of course, yesterday was as I said, the richest game in football, which is the playoff finals, won by Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest versus Huddersfield wasn't the greatest game in the world. I watched the game, wasn't the greatest game in the world, but it was Forest who came out on top. It was an own goal that did it for them. And after 23 years away from the Premier League, they are back, and they are a huge club. Huge club, Nottingham Forest.
You know what, Rob?
They've won the European Cup twice.
Here's a stat for you, Rob, and you can use this. I'll give this to you.
Oh, thank you.
Nottingham Forest are the only British team that have won the European Cup more times than they've won the first league, domestic league.
Yeah.
So they've won the English league once in 78, and they won the European Cup in 79 and 1980 as well. And that's why when they played Premier League teams this season, apart from Liverpool in the FA Cup, they were saying European champions. You'll never sing that.
Yeah, they sung that to Arsenal.
I bet they did. Man City will be getting it next year as well.
But listen, it's great to see them back because they were a huge club. Like you said, they've got a great history. It's a great ground to go to. I've been there a few times. Great ground to go to and watch football. And they've got a massive fan base. And Nottingham's a huge city, and it's great to see them back in the Premier League. However, I've got to say, I've got a lot of sympathy this morning for Huddersfield. Yeah. John Moss, refereeing his last game, should I say, had another, and I say another because he's had another horrendous performance. Huddersfield had 2 penalties in that game. I thought both of them nailed on. On the first one, he booked the player. Yeah. Right, VAR looked at it, said no, they didn't think it was a penalty. The second one was the most blatant penalty you're ever going to see. And between John Moss and Tierney on the VAR, they didn't even look at it again. I thought if I was a Huddersfield fan this morning, I mean, if Ty was a Huddersfield fan.
Oh my God. You would never stop.
Honestly, no, I felt sorry for him. I mean, it's great to see Forest back, but I feel sorry for any Huddersfield fan today. And John Moss, I'm sorry, he's amongst one of the worst referees I've ever seen in the Premier League. He's awful.
This all season long on DR Sports on the COP TV. The standard of refereeing in this country is one of the worst. Look how well
that he was a French referee, wasn't it? Look how well he refereed the Champions League final. All right, we know the VAR, and that wasn't down to him. The VAR decision took quite a while, but they got it right, and it was a difficult one to judge.
It was right.
But the final was refereed so well. And then I watched that game yesterday, which, as I said, is the richest game in the world. There's so much on it. How can the refereeing be so poor? What was John Moss doing refereeing that anyway? It was awful. And now he's going to be in charge of a group of referees. That's his next role because he's retired. Mike Dean's retired. He's going to be doing the VAR next season. He's retired. And Martin Atkinson's retired. He's going to be managing he's going to be training or coaching referees.
Right.
But John Moss, I'm sorry. I thought it was another abysmal performance by him yesterday. And he's cost Huddersfield.
Do you know what? I'm agreeing with you when you say great to have Forest back. I went to uni in Nottingham 10 years ago. My girlfriend's from Nottingham. Her dad's a big Forest fan. He's buzzing that they're back in the league, and it's a great city. And
yeah, it's great to see them back.
Should be back. But if, like you said, if I woke up today and I was Huddersfield, do you know what? They would have rather lost 3-0 yesterday. They would have rather lost 3-0 because then they go, do you know what? We gave it a good shot. We'll be back again next year. They lost 1-0 to an own goal, and they should have got 2 penalties, which probably should have won them 2-1, right? So
I think there should be
Joker.
AGT. There should be some sort of inquiry into what
there
went
has
on
to
yesterday,
be.
because the second one for me is the appalling one, because they've got VAR there and they didn't look at it. They didn't refer to the VAR to check that penalty, and it was the most nailed-on penalty.
Yeah. We've seen half of penalty. We've seen a quarter of stuff like that happen that gets given.
Yeah,
but it wasn't only a foul. It was a yellow card as well. But that he's almost fouled him twice. He's taken his leg out twice and then gone like that.
Shocking.
And then,
shocking.
Oh, mate.
But anyway, congratulations going out to Nottingham Forest. They are back in the Premier League, and we now know that the 3 teams that are going to be in the Premier League next season are going to be Fulham, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest. So 3 good trips there. We're looking forward to those. So, right, 3 good teams coming up. One other bit of news there before we go. Ralph Rangnick, leaving Manchester United.
What a mess, Rob, from start to finish. I mean, when he came in, everyone was thinking, oh, if you can't get the man you really want, let's get Ralph in. He stabilizes it. He goes upstairs. He's the godfather of Gegenpress. You know, Pep and Klopp look up to him. What a load of absolute rubbish that turned out to be, Rob. I don't want to hear Saeed ever chat about any appointment they make again, because it's absolutely farcical how, 1, he's come in, 2, it's not worked, 3, they don't respect him, 4, okay, I'm going to go upstairs and get Ten Hag in, 5, actually, do you know what, I'm going to take this Austria job, 6, do you know what, forget about the consultancy role that you signed a contract for, we're going to have to pay you out now because of that, by the way, but yeah, go on, off to Austria you go. Like, that decision making from start to finish just encapsulates every single thing at Manchester United right now. What an absolute
mess. I'll tell you what, Ten Hag has got a big job on his hands.
Wreck it, Ralph.
He wrecked it. He wrecked it.
And then he left.
He wrecked it and then he left. Well, listen, AGT, thank you very much. I know me and you are going to be, just to let people know, we're going to be doing a brand new transfer show here on the channel. So look out for that starting in the next few days. We're going to be keeping you up to date with all the transfers across the Premier League and Europe. So make sure you check us out. It's going to be here every day. AGT, we're going to go back to bed now. You know what I mean? It's been tough times.
Work's happy run, Rob. But let me just say before we sign off for the season, right? It's been a long season. My girlfriend's trying to FaceTime me. Can't have that right now. It's been a very long season. And you know what? The hard work that's gone in behind the scenes from, well, not behind the scenes, you bang in front of the scenes, but then Jason as well, everyone that's helped on the Saturday football show, the watch-alongs, the Champions League, late nights. Like, people don't even realise, Rob, it's the late nights. They don't see us.
Yeah, it was a late one on Saturday, I tell you that.
And do you know what? I have to take my hat off to you as well, Rob. You're the hardest worker in the whole game. No one is doing it like DR Sports, and just wait till we come back next season bigger and better, new guests, new faces. It's going to be amazing. But I have to, credit where credit's due. It's been a long, hard slog this season, and a massive respect to you, Rob.
Big up. And listen, you got, as I said, once again, you've got to hand it to Liverpool, even though I don't think there's ever been a team that's been like literally everything they competed in, they went down to the wire on. Yeah. I know, you might have got a bit of stick after Saturday, but Liverpool, what an amazing team. They went down to the wire in every single competition. I've not seen that before. Just didn't get over the line in the Champions League, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Right? They go again next season. Thanks very much, AGT. Thanks to everybody. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports. Like this video as well. I will see you with more amazing stuff. Don't forget the Women's Euros. We are going to be covering every single game here on DR Sports. It's going to be a huge tournament being played here in the UK. So make sure you check that out. Thanks very much, and we'll see you on the next one.